welcome back to this new video. In today's video we're gonna go through different Reddit posts about finance and funny story about finance and different subjects around finance, and yeah, just try to see what we can find about finance on Reddit, because as we already know, a lot of finance gurus on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on all of different social media, but who are the people that teach finance on Reddit? Okay, so there is this community on Reddit called Personal Finance. So as you can see, this post was posted 4 days ago. I'm 28 with no kids. Is it a good idea to put 80% of my money in S&P 500 index fund? Okay, so for people who don't know, the S&P 500, it's like an index fund with all the 500 biggest company in USA. So almost the 500 biggest company in the world, almost. And yeah, so it's a kind of solid investment. It has been the most consistent growing index fund since the beginning of index funds. So it's a pretty safe value if we consider it as safe, knowing with what's happening with the US currency. But anyway, and his plan, he wants to put 80% of it in this S&P 500. So 28F, so it's a woman, no kids, 300k saved, so $300,000 saved, live with parents. My goal is to be honest, is simply to be financially stable and reach 1 million sooner than later. Will be a good idea to put 80% of my money in S&P 500 index fund. So what does people say about it? Yes, it doesn't have to be all on S&P 500, but yes, I got 70% S&P 500, 20% international. Simple as all get out and protects me if something more American only happens. Do you have an IRA set up for retirement? You only get a lot of people being crabby that you don't list expensive incomes and such, but with 200,000, my opinion is that yes, it's probably perfect fine to put 240,000 into Wood and keep the rest in a high say. For pretty much 90% of people, 60,000 is a fanatic emergency fund and brokerage relatively liquid. You'll be in good shape. Where is the money now? Do you have an intention of buying a home with your money in the near term? I'm pretty curious about what people say about it. Just sitting in a bank account and not for now. Please tell me at least a high say will not be earning 4 or 5% interest all the time. It wouldn't be the worst thing. I'm confused about 80% value. Why are you pointing that out? What is the other 20% for? I'm trying to figure that out also. We can also now try to calculate how much she would earn if she invested this $300,000 into the S&P 500 today. Okay, so as you can see, the average annualized return since its inception in 1928 through December 31 is 9.90%. The average annualized return since adopting S&P 500 stock into the index is in 1957 is 10.26% a year. Okay, so let's say that the S&P 500 make around 10% a year. How much could she earn? Okay, so she have $300,000 and she want to put 80% of it on the S&P 500, so $240,000 with the annual average return based on the information we saw on the internet at around 10%. So initial investment 300 to 3 $300,000, interest rate 10% yearly. Let's see first on 2 years. I want to show you the power of compound interest. Additional contribution, let's say that she doesn't do any additional contribution. So as you can see, if I understood right, on a yearly basis, after 2 years, she will go from $300 to $363,000 with 10% return. The first year, she made $30,000, 10% obviously. The second year, she made $33,000. Where are the $3,000 coming from? Let me show you. Okay, let's say that you have a $300,000, okay? And you make 10% the first year, so times 1.1, you are at $330,000. But the thing now is that on the second year, you aren't making 10% of 300,000. You are actually making 10% based on $330,000. So this means that on the second year, we are at $363,000 if she invested 100%, so 300,000 instead of the 240 she said in the beginning. But you know, it's still some money, but you can't really make a lot with $60,000 on the long term. So let's say that she do that for 5 years, for 4 years. You're gonna tell me, okay, she's gonna make the double of it, so around $100,000, $120,000 bonus. Let's see how much she actually make. As you can see, not $120,000, but $139,000 in 4 years, doing nothing, literally doing nothing, just investing and forgetting your money. Now, let's say she do that for 10 years, $778,000 in 10 years. So she more than doubled her money. So that's quite a lot, to be honest. But now I want to do things a little bit different. Let's say that she had a $300,000 for 2 years and that on a monthly basis, at the end of each month, she deposit $1,000, knowing that she live with her parents, she doesn't have a lot of expenses. That's kind of possible. Let's see how much she's making in 2 years. As you can see, $65,355. Now, let's do that for 5 years. As you can see, in 5 years, she literally doubled her money. Now, let's see for 10 years, almost $1 million. So she earned around more than $500,000. So that's quite a lot of money. But you know, it's kind of a dumb example, but by doing that, I just wanted to show you the power of compound interest and how investing into this kind of index fund could be a good idea. Then there is also different different things you need to take in consideration. First of all, if you are Muslim like me, some stocks that are in the S&P 500 aren't authorized for trading. This means that some stocks are halal, some stocks are haram in the S&P 500, but there is different options. So today there is different type of S&P 500, with some of them who are Sharia compliant. This means that they exclude all of the different stocks that are haram and only allow the halal stocks of the S&P 500 into your investment. This means that you can kind of invest into this kind of stuff totally halal. But again, this is not financial advice. There is a ton of people who are better than me in explaining this kind of stuff. I just wanted to tell you that it is possible based on your religion and all of the different kind of stuff that are blocking you to doing this kind of investment. But it's always really important to have a look before taking any financial decision. I could maybe do a whole video talking about it, but it's not the subject for this video. Okay, now post number 2. What's your craziest financial story, win or losses? So this one is on Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit is one of the biggest Reddit community. There's a lot of different questions talking about a lot of different stuff. So both with Bitcoin, the Bitcoin shot up to over $60,000 a few years later. Okay, it's the same story as the guy who bought pizza with Bitcoin, and I don't really remember, but the Bitcoin he bought with was worth like millions of dollars later, because when he bought pizza with Bitcoin, the Bitcoin was worth like some pennies or some dollar. I don't really remember. Sold my house for 2.5 for what I paid for, including power, tax, repairs. So 1.5 year free living, a lot of money on the top. So this is a nice investment. My craziest financial story was when I lost all my money on a get rich quick scheme through I be rolling in dough, but ended up homeless and hungry instead. Moral of the story, don't trust shady online ads, kids. So as a lot of people, a lot of us got scammed sadly by different Forex finance group, different courses. This is part of the story, to be honest. You can just take it as a lesson. That's kind of sad. I myself bought some really bad courses, lost a lot of money by following some trading signals and this kind of stuff. But this is the kind of stuff that happens. So yeah, go next. Okay, so this one didn't have a lot of interesting stuff. Let's go to the next one. The best piece of financial advice that you have ever gotten. So what is the best piece of financial advice that you have ever gotten? I would like to post the best with attribution on my blog. The best piece of advice that I've been gotten was to pay myself first by putting a set percentage into a rainy day fund. Keep in mind that this post was posted 9 years ago, so 2020 minus 5. So this post was posted in 2015. In 2015, I was 13 years ago. I was still playing Minecraft in my room. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Anyway, give every dollar a job. So having $1,000 in my checking account with no purpose meant I had $1,000 to spend, and I often did. Having $1,000 in my checking account and knowing that $100 has to go for the week groceries, $400 has to set aside for property tax in March, $150 has to go for the wife birthday next month, $50 needs to be aside for fuel for the week, $300 has to be there for the car payment next week. Make me feel like I'm broke. I don't spend $1. I'll soon need for other things. You need a budget. I just got this and it's awesome. I totally didn't realize how much of my leftover money actually needed to be saved for these irregular bills. This one was not dumb, simply by the fact that having a budget is really important, because how much of us have no clue on how much you are spending on a monthly basis. You know, even if you doesn't have a really fixed income, it's really important to put yourself to work and just take, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes a week to count how much you actually spend on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis based on when you're paid. But just counting how much you're paid and what are your expenses could help you save you a lot of money and a lot of trouble. So when you receive a salary raise, do not proportionally raise the cost of your lifestyle. If you maintain the lifestyle you always had while you keep receiving raises, over a few years you're going to find yourself with a lot of extra cash and investment. So this is a problem that is called lifestyle inflation. So what is lifestyle inflation? Lifestyle inflation is when your cost of living increase as much or sometimes even more than your income. Let's say that I make a $2,000 a month. I can maybe spend, I don't know, $3 a month on the gym, $100 a month. I don't have any car, so on the train or this kind of stuff, $300 on the groceries, and yeah, you understand. And maybe I dedicate myself, I don't know, $300 a month for fun, so going out, eating with friends and this kind of stuff. And 1 year later, I noticed that I now now make $3,000 a month. That's good. I could allocate a little bit of myself, of my extra money, to have more fun or to save more or to, I don't know, eat more, this kind of stuff. But it's really important to have rules even for that. So maybe only allowing yourself 10% more fun money for every raise that you have. So let's say that I have a $100 raise. I only allow myself $10 to have more fun and the rest go into investing and all this kind of stuff. Trust me, having some strict rules about how you use your money is literally a life changer. Now, when you receive a salary raise, do not proportionally raise the cost of your lifestyle. If a penny saved is a penny earned, then making a budget cut is giving yourself a raise. Okay, I think I understand what he said. It's true, but we live in a society of consummation, so this means that it's kind of hard to save money. It's actually possible, if you listen to my advice that I told earlier, to have a strict plan on how you spend your money. I personally have my strict plan on my notes, on my phone. Yeah, by respecting some rules, even if sometimes it's harder than other times, I'm still able to kind of do what I want on a monthly basis and to be able to take some financial decision if I see that in maybe 2 months I wouldn't have as much as money as I planned. And yeah, so this is actually my husband's favorite. You may make minimum wage or you make a million, but a pizza still costs $5. It's a lesson that I'm not falling into the standard of living creep trap as your income rises. So sadly, as you can see, this post was posted 9 years ago, and sadly I don't know where she lives. Nowadays a pizza doesn't cost $5. It's around, I don't know, $13, $14 in Sweden, I don't know. Yeah, last time I was there, it cost around $14 without a drink. So yeah, sadly, this isn't a good financial advice. I was going to college, my dad said, work at a restaurant or liquor store. Why? I replied, you like to eat and drink, so find a place that will subsidize that. I worked at both, and he was right. So listen carefully here. Something that I noticed is that most of the people who make a lot of money try to make some money where they usually spend it. And by respecting this rule, all of people make a lot of money. Let me explain. Let's say that you play a lot of video games. Okay, so each month you buy some games, you buy a new mouse, you buy a new, I don't know, 1 time a year you buy a new keyboard. You just keep upgrading your computer to be able to play some more powerful game. Anyway, it costs you a lot of money to play video games because you really like it. And there is nothing wrong with that. What I mean is that, let's say that instead of spending money on video games, you try to earn some by, I don't know, opening a YouTube channel where you post your playing session, or opening a Twitch channel or streaming channel where you simply stream when you are used to play. So by doing that, you are monetizing your passion. You are making money instead of spending it. And this could work with literally everything. In 2024, it's literally possible to make money on any different subject, on the bad one and on the good one. But me, myself, sadly, I don't know why, I don't really have any passion. But let's say that today I would love to play tennis. Let's say that tomorrow I just started to find a passion for basketball. I would definitely have no problem opening a TikTok account, a YouTube account, an Instagram account where I post, I don't know, my training session, some tips about basketball and all this kind of stuff. And instead of spending money, I will make money. I don't know if it was clear what I was saying, but I think you understand what I mean. We all have some average expenses that we do on a daily basis: eating, having a house, going out, and this kind of stuff. But if you have a lot of money to invest, and you're someone who loves to eat, you open a restaurant. This means that if your restaurant go well and you work on it, you will be able to make some money on something that usually costed you money. I know that this explanation was really bad, but if at least one people could understand what I mean, I see that as a win. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. So this is half true. It's not what you make, it's what you keep, and it's what you give. Something that I noticed is that I myself personally started to make more money as soon as I started to give more. So giving to some charitable causes or people in need. For some reason, I have no physical explanation to that, but some people maybe have. But when I give more, when I try to be a better person with my money, I notice that for some reason I keep receiving more. Okay, so what is a cool fact you know about finance? Let's face it, if you're really into finance, you are dork about it. So what cool fact do you know that either put the markets into perspective for newbies or that you just learned that you find interesting? I'll start. Did you know that there is a 1.2 billion market cap avocado farmer based in Mexico? Check out CVGWI. So as you can see, this post was 7 years ago. So So I'm really curious to see how much $404 million. That's long from what she just said with the $1.2 billion. Sadly for her, if it was a really $1.2 billion market cap before, sadly it went down. Anyway, there is a ban on onion future trading in the United States due to market manipulation. At one point, a bag of onion were worth less than a bag it came in. They flooded to the market with so many onions in Chicago that there was onion shortage in other parts of the country, and the Chicago River flowed with onions. Every time one person sells, another buy, and they both think they are smart. That's actually true. No money, no problem. Yes and no. I will say that most of the problem in the world could be fixed with some money. Literally almost all of your problem, a part of it, could be fixed with money. Banks should become more profitable when interest rates are rising, but historically they have underperformed during the market. So this is really interesting because this is extremely true. If you just noticed about change of interest rates around the world, the period where the banks were making most of the money due to interest rates, this is the part. It was at this moment of time that they was underperforming the market. Why? To be honest, I'm not an economist, so I don't have a clear explanation about it. But to me, it could definitely be something with the comfort zone. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but it became so easy to make so much money that their risk tolerance kind of went lower. So this means that they were taking more uncalculated risk or less calculated risk than usual, and this caused for this kind of scenario to happen. Forex market is the largest market in the world. Banking originated in the 13th century out of deposit. The deposit system solved the original problem of bringing a large amount of gold every year you go. This is true, but sadly there's kind of a monopoly on banking. Yeah. Okay, so the rule of 70. If you have a compound annual growth rate, say 5%, divide 75% by that growth rate, 14, that is approximately how many years it will take for something to double in value, and that growth rate 1.0514 is 1.98. Yeah, if someone understood that, I hope that this was a good financial advice. Germany and Japan have had negative interest rate in order to give their economy a boost. I don't know if that's true, but it's not dumb when you think about it. The best way to be able to, I would say, inject some money on a large scale is to have negative interest rate. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea because people take loans for everything, for private loans and business loans. So if you have some kind of negative interest, it will be a good way to inject some money in all of different area and all of different markets through the country. So it's not dumb, but I don't know if it's true and if it would actually work. But currently, yeah, this post was 7 years ago, but yeah, not dumb. Pretty sure England is still making debt payment for the South, the company bubble. Okay, this one started to be boring, so let's jump to the next one. 10 crazy finance facts. If you start with 1 penny and you double your money every day for 1 month, by the end of the month you have 10,700,000. Yeah, anyway, we saw this stuff on TikTok and Instagram a lot of times, so nothing really interesting. And why can't I go back? Yeah, by the way, this was 6 years ago. Yeah, most US stock trades are made by computer and electronic trading. Over a 30-year $250,000 mortgage, you will be paid a total of $420,000. So interest rate compound effect, this is kind of true. Sadly, when you take a loan and there is some interest rate, you pay way more than what you think, but most of the people don't even do their calculation, so I don't know what we can do about it. The most pricey stock is Berkshire Hathaway at $281 a share. $281,000 a share? Nah, that's not possible. Wait, so it's actually true, $599,000 for one stock share. Oof, so almost $600,000 for one stock share for the class. What? I didn't know about it. Anyway, really interesting. I can't afford that. After an IPO, stock price dropped on average in the first year despite all the hype of going public. Okay, over half of the generation here have more than 10,000. So the generation have more than $10,000 saved for retirement. That's good. 1945 has the highest marginal tax rate, 94%. Okay, 39,45. So yeah, 39.45. It was the end of the Second World War. So I guess that they taxed a lot of money to be able to rebuild a lot of different countries. A special dividend from Microsoft of $32 billion in 2004 single-handedly rose currently US personal saving by 1.5%. So due to hyperinflation in 2009, Zimbabwe started printing $100 trillion bills. Yeah, Algeria would never. Floor traders at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange follow a dress code that requires jackets because trading floor would get so hot their spot coats are currently made of mesh. This code have funky prints like flames, polka dots or neon. Okay, really interesting. Almost the last one. People of Reddit, what is a fact about money that you think most people don't know about? Okay, people love to spend on experience, not on things. This is true. Higher income is associated with less daily sadness, but not more daily happiness. So this is what I was talking about earlier. When you make more money, not all of your problem, but a part of it could be solved, and at least a part of every problem could be solved. Anyway, your attitude towards money is defined by your personality type. This is also true. A lot of women still prefer to marry rich men and stay at home with their children. Couples where the wife earns more than the husband tends to be less satisfied with their marriage and are more likely to divorce. Yeah, could you be with someone that is making more money than you? Good question. The higher your income, likely you are to have found love. I don't know, I don't have a high income. Arguments about money are the best predictor of divorce. This is sadly true. Most people want a significant other with a similar philosophy towards money and finance. Yeah, I mean, if you're a scammer, do you want also for your wife or for your husband to be a scammer? I don't know. A lot of people are attracted to those who have strong budgeting skills. Extravagant spenders are not popular. The US study monitored people's supermarket shopping for a whole year, and half the people, okay, this one is boring. While many of us need to get better at watching our pennies, it's not always the case that cheaper brands are better. Use a debit, not a credit card. Being in debt is negatively associated with happiness and is linked to health problems such as depression and anxiety. Donate to charity, you'll get more of an emotional reward by supporting groups you feel closely connected to, or when a close friend asks for your help. This one, really important. As I said, the more you give, and I'm talking to give about people in help, not on different platform for your personal pleasure, but when you give to people who needs it, you get more back. Trust me. The Australian $10 notes has poems written on them in a tiny font. I would think, oh my god, I thought he was saying the Australian painter. Anyway, right now it is cheaper to wipe your thing with Venezuelan cash than to use said cash to buy toilet paper. Compound interest is a beautiful thing. Most of people are too impatient to realize the benefit. This is true. In the UK, it costs more than to make a $10,000 note, and it's worse. Seriously, what is about a $5 note? I'm not sure that one bit will be the same, but the $10 note costs around £30 to make. Negative interest rate, I don't know. It's made out of cotton and not paper, I think. It's just paper. This is true. I mean, we are literally stressing and working our whole life for a piece of paper. But as we all know, they associated this piece of paper with the definition of happiness today. And without this piece of paper, you could literally do nothing. So when billionaire buys a yacht, he's giving people a job and money with dignity. Charities are good too, but the money doesn't disappear off the planet when someone buys something extravagant. This is also true. Nothing wrong with spending a lot of money on some kind of stuff, because at some point you're always helping people. So as we know, people are complaining about football players who make a lot of money, but you think about it, I think that on the Champions League, one football player, I think the Footballs League was making around 320,000 or 32,000 jobs for people. So this means that for each football player is creating around 32 jobs. And my question now is, for all the people complaining about football players making too much money, is how much jobs are you guys creating? Zero. So this means that Slimani is more useful than you. Even Mahrez, who made us lose this AFCON, is more useful than you watching this video. So this sounds like a conspiracy theory, and even bank employees get it wrong, but it's in fact true when you borrow money. Okay, this one was boring. Let's go to the last one. Okay, so what are the incontrovertible facts of finance to know? Although I don't see much good worthwhile discussing about finance, mostly see only for people giving different opinion about two complex topics. Okay, actively managed funds underperform index. Okay, this one is boring. Personal finance, don't buy stuff you can't afford. I don't remember who said that, but someone, if you can't buy something twice, then you can't afford it. This is true, and if you live with this rule, you will save a lot of money. If you can't buy the same car twice, don't buy it. It sounds dumb, but if you do that, you will save a ton of money and live way below your income. And this is a good thing. So risk-adjusted return are maximized through diversification. A couple tips: understand your bank account, fees, checking versus savings. So don't go down the rabbit hole of investing in stock option. It's a scam to make money for banks of the masses. If you have no clue of what you're doing, and this is true for most of the people, then yeah, investing into stock is a scam. Anyway, I hope that you guys liked this type of video. I try to do my best for it. If this video makes some views and not some money, because I'm still not monetized, but if it make at least a little bit of views, I will continue to do this kind of stuff, maybe one time a month, I don't know. But tell me if you like this format, tell me if there is different, better stuff I could do. If you have any Reddit community or any Reddit post that you want me to go through related to finance and this kind of stuff, or if you have any answer to why Mahrez became so bad recently, yeah, I will definitely take that as tips for the next video. So thanks for watching this video. If you could take 2 seconds just to like, share, subscribe, follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok, I will be really grateful. So thanks for watching this video and have a good day.